Is it possible to manufacture an artifact? Hello there, my name is Celerity, and this is 10 Minute Talks, where we talk for 10 minutes and we post whatever's usable. I wanted to talk today because I have a little project I'm working on. It's not for streaming, or for YouTube, or for content creation really. It's more of a personal project. During a Black Friday sale, I happened to procure a set of tarot cards. I've always wanted one first and foremost, because I've been surrounded by people who were mystics for a lot of their life, and haven't had the opportunity to play around with that myself. In growing up, there was an issue with a certain level of self-determination I had, so I couldn't buy myself some tarot cards. Later on in life, specifically now, I have bought one. And I want it to be more than just a usual deck. I've spoken on the channel in the past about how I've tossed things that had sentimental value, and I didn't realize the loss I was going to go into. One of the first gifts I've ever received was a rabbit sweater with little carrots at the ends of the drawstrings, pink with a white hood, and suffice it to say, I miss it a lot. And I only started missing it when I realized that clearing my closet meant getting rid of it, and I really didn't have to. So I'm trying to be more precious in my life. I'm trying to find more excuses and opportunities to make artifacts, add artifacts in my immediate proximity. And I wonder if that's against the point. I wonder if part of the appeal of artifacts, of items that are held throughout, such as wristbands for psych ward check-ins, or plane tickets, or I voted stickers, right? What makes them so interesting, what makes them so valuable, is their incidental value. That by keeping it around, you've accidentally done something to imbue these things with sentimental value. When you have one Wendy's receipt, you are shaping up to have a Dave's Triple in the future with the code on the back. If you have 3, you don't clean your car very often. When you have 5, it's an issue. When you have 1 for every week in the 52 weeks of a year, that is dedication. And because of that, that becomes an artifact, right? I'm also blessed in having people who are creators of artifacts around me. There's a creator on Twitch by the name of Archivist, and they are a proper punk. They make their own patches, and they sew them on with floss, because floss is more accessible and stronger than most cords and fabrics. They have a battle jacket, which is comprised of several different pieces of bartered item and artifact and bauble, and is accented with these brass studs on the collar. And I look at that, and I'm very much envious, and I'm happy to have this person as my friend, because they've given me some of my most recent artifacts. I received from them after a short Florida trip, which is why I was gone for that 1 week in November. I received from them a piece of art, and I'm looking at it right now, a piece of art and a energy drink tab bracelet. And these are things I'm not going to throw away anytime soon. Not at all, even. These are things that I'm going to try to safeguard as best as possible. But in realizing in this exchange that Archivist had given me the make of a personal bauble artifact thing that I love, I wondered if I couldn't manufacture that for myself. I'm very heavily considering making this tarot deck, a tarot deck wherein I have people who I enjoy, or people who I have physical access to face it. Maybe sign their name on a card that I think really means something to them, or is related to them. I would like some of my artist friends to have their take on some cards, but of course I have to figure out about how they get compensated for their work. But I would like to just really personalize this very, very generic tarot deck for myself. When I was thinking about customizing this deck, when I was thinking about making it an artifact, I had some pause because I know some people who, they're very, very invested in tarot cards, right? They go through the traditional 18th century, 19th century rituals for using it as an oracular modem, oracular vehicle, to be able to look in the future and, or at least engage in their own kind of spirituality through the tarot. So I get a little bit worried Again, the magic of something being an artifact is incidental. It is a gift given to you. It is this, it is that. I've even heard traditions wherein you cannot buy your first deck. You must have it given to you, and the tradition given to you by another person. I'm not sure about the truth of this, or whether or not it's gatekeeping, or whether or not it is 21st century tradition peeking its head, presenting itself as an old, long-known thing. But no, I bought this. In 15th centuries, the tarot deck was no different than your set of regular playing cards. There are 4 suits, pentacles, cups, wands, and swords, which roughly correspond to the playing cards of spades, diamonds, hearts, and clubs. And then there are a couple of royal cards, the major arcana, which are related to, in a certain degree, the traditional king, queen, jack, and ace. Really, looking at this thing, its use as a fortune-telling medium comes from its ubiquity and its accessibility, more so than it does initially anything that has to do with the cards. People still, in the modern day, play Tarocco Silicano. Goodness. People in France and Italy still play some variant of the original board game, original card game of tarot. So, if I look at this secularly, right, if I look at this not necessarily as a mystical tool just yet, but more so as a project of mine, I hope that gives me clearance to do whatever I want with any of these cards. We also live in an age of consumerism, and therefore it being mine means I can do whatever I want with it. I think in doing this practice, in wanting to have all these different people in my life touch these cards, make something out of it, I think that I can make it mystic. I can make it spiritual. I can make it some kind of elevated item by virtue of knowing each card has somebody I carry in my heart in it. Maybe this is making up for lost time. Maybe this is me trying my best to recapture that sweater. But I think if able to us, we should try, right? Inject a little whimsy in your life. Ding, 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 10 minutes.